Welcome, bronies. I have to admit, for this perfect showpiece of Slice of Life, I haven't much to say. But I will start like every time with an introduction. Stately, plump, Buck Mulligan came from the stairhead, bearing a bowl of leather on which a mirror and a razor lay crossed. Excuse me? What had Ulysses in common with this episode? Ulysses shows Slice of Life in book form, and this episode is simply a Slice of Life, episode 2. Yeah, the moral is quite simple in this case, but alright, from the beginning. Today by On Second Look, Applejack's Day Off. The two main characters today, Applejack and Rarity, are quite different for me. The down-to-earth pony with a farm and many chores on that, and the fancy lady with her own boutique in Ponyville haven't much in common on the first view. The Cutie Mark swap in Magical Mystical Cure shows how different both tastes are. Applejack's art of dress seemed to be a little bit odd, but the episodes Trade Yarn and Made in Manhattan are showing how good they are understanding each other and how much they are liking each other. The best episode for this, besides this one, actually, is Simple Ways. Both have shown inside of the other, but Applejack is quite perfect in this episode. Yes, I should speak more about the new episode and not so much about the old ones. Right. An interesting point of view could be Rarity tries to persuade Applejack for a spa visit together, but she has so much chores to do. We see good character interactions and moments for both ponies, and a few interesting scenes for Twilight as a pig feeder and organizing the chores. And Rarity summons a pocket watch out of nowhere. But the main attraction of this episode are the background ponies. We see an interesting development for the spa ponies, for the cakes, and for Mrs. Rich. No, I don't like high horse after all, especially after this scene.
Steam room's just a room, and I've got plenty of those at home, because I live in a mansion.
Just briefly expressed, she's a stuck-up, bird-brained fool. Right, keep cool. I don't have any picture from Question Mark in an angry mode, and he denied to make one. But back to the scenes who pleases me. The speaking role from Caramel is really fine and reminds me of one of my gay friends, actually. Is he gay too?
Oh, no, that's exactly what we're waiting for. Oh, I hope you're not in a hurry.
What do you think? Oh, I simply just forgot Rainbow Danger Dash here. I mean, seriously, she loves to be pampered and tries to hide it from her friends? Yes, it seems legit for her character. Right, back to the episode. A little Mission Impossible intermezzo shows off, and the moral of this episode follows quickly. Outsider can easily identify the problems and overcomplicated procedures and failures in your work. Applejack has seen this in the spa but is unable to see it in her own work. Nice style of characterization for her. Twilight and Rarity are the friends who overwatch her chores to improve her working habit. But the characters don't surprise in this episode, in exception for Rainbow Dash. But the scenery and world building are nice. We see a nice background look on the farm chores and the spa. I have only one question left. Why are pigs necessary for ponies? No pony had eaten meat so far, and a compost pile are even so useful for the trash, and don't need so much attention. But if I concentrate my review around this topic, you will be bored and change the channel. Back to the plot. It reminds me to the good old days from season 1 or 2, like Look Before You Sleep. It's a nice small problem at all. Overcomplicated work hindered by overaged or even pointless action who extends the duration of the work and serves no purpose. A friend sees it and could tell it out because she doesn't stuck in the process. A good moral for us grown-up bronies. The scenery is fine and well written, I guess. The humor is good and Rarity's frustration believable. Actual, I should have a great time with this episode, but nothing stays in mind or sticks out. My feelings are much better than last week, and I can tell this episode pleases me a little, but... Alright, resume. Am I too critical here? After I see a perfect episode, a heartwarming tale, and I'm being excited to see a Fluttershy episode next week? Of course, but it isn't fair to judge the episode so hard. What she attempts to be is what she is. She's good. Nothing spectacular, but just a fine work. She's solid in the characterization. The lovely traits of the characters are recognizable, and we are loving the show for this simplicity. We see even a characterization for an unloved side character, isn't it right? Spoiled rich? So far, I only see Rainbow Dash as a surprise, and I can agree with her secret as a spa-loving pony. The characters receive 7 points out of 10. They are getting more than 5 points because they are not out of character. For scenery and plot design, the moral and the world building are standing out, and the spa background and Applejack's farm chores are a nice touch too. But one thing I have to speak out. What have this in common with the overall a description of the season? Explore Equestria. And do I have a strange point of view for the last season? Or are the plot there more adventurous and deeper in character? What do you think? We have seen so far in this season good sceneries and locations with a lot of background ponies, but in the matter of plotting, the episodes are much simpler. In the 5th season, we see new point of views for many background and side characters, and even for many of the main 6, and I loved it. But this developed point of view is missing for the last 2 episodes. We had seen well-known character tropics for the main 6 and didn't learn much new about them. Of course, we love the character traits from all the main 6, but in the background from many of them is still something missing. And this bugs me. I mean seriously, Applejack's indirect confirmed dead parents, Fluttershy's whole family, and Scootaloo's missing parents for good sake. But next week we see finally one of this piece of background. Good gravy, I'm curious about it. Right, back to Applejack's day off and the final rating. Scenery and plot design receive... Right, I'm irritated that I have folded both together. But alright, they received 6 points out of 10. But only because the world building and moral are so good. Totally 6.5 out of 10 points above average with good characterization. I hate my own high standard sometimes, if it gets into my pleasure. But what could I say besides sorry? Next week I will enjoy more, hopefully. No, surely. Then my favorite pony from the main 6 is finally a star of her own episode. And we see her family at last. The next week by On Second Look, Flutter Brutter. Yay! See you then. Yours truly, Redhatbrony.